Hi, I'm Tom Gray with Call Makers News. This video tutorial is about how to make an acrylic duck call barrel. First of all, I want to go through some of the equipment that we're using for this demonstration. First of all, we have the Jet 10x14 variable speed mini lathe. I'm going to have the speed setting tonight set at 2000 RPMs. We also have a number 2 headstock alignment tool, of which I bought at Packard Woodworks. I haven't seen a lot of people use these. They seem to work best for me in my turnings. I also have a Sorby brand 1/2 inch round nose scraper. That's my favorite of all of them. It allows me to be able to maneuver it around the outside of the acrylic blank with a lot of ease. I'm also going to be using Sorby 1/2 inch skew chisel. This will allow me, you'll see me using it most where I want to level up the tenon where the band is going to fit. I'm also going to be using an 1/8 inch Sorby parting tool. The parting tool will be used to cut the groove for the lanyard where it goes. As far as the acrylic tonight, I'm going to be using a 1/2 inch by 3 1/8 inch length piece of acrylic. Also have already pre-bored a 5/8 inch hole in the center of it. I do it 3 1/8 inches long because in order to get it true, I'll use the parting tool to take just a little bit of the excess off of each end in order to square it up. And then I also use the 1¼ inch by 1 1/8 stainless steel band. These bands are fantastic. I have them pre-engraved with my name on them. What I will do is that I will take the tenon where the band is going to go on the duck call, and I will turn it to where it'll be a little larger than 1 1/8 inch in order to be able to take and press it on for a good solid tight fit when I'm finished. I'm also going to be using the digital calipers to where I can take the measurements. This is a preference as far as the measurements of the style of the barrel, but you'll see me use it quite often throughout the video in order to do it. I also have on this particular lathe set up a bullnose live center on the rear, and that's going to be able to help me to position and hold the back of it. So the first thing I want to do is I want to put the acrylic blank on there, snug it up. And what I want to do is I'm going to actually turn the lathe on, put enough pressure on the tailstock just till it stops spinning, and lock it down. At this point, I'm going to set my steady rest to where that the skew itself, or the round nose scraper, excuse me, is going to be just under the center axis of the lathe itself, or of the acrylic block, the blank that we're going to be using. I'm going to take and go in with the video where you can see more of the action and catch that while I'm doing this, okay? Okay, with all of that, first thing we're going to do is to go ahead and turn it down to the size that I like, and I already have it set on my calipers themselves. I'm going to take and I'm going to move this in just a little closer, and I'm just going to start taking it off little bit by little until I get it down to the size that I like for my barrels to be. The thing I like about turning the acrylic is that I have allergies. I have a lot of sinus problems. The acrylic is much easier on those than as opposed to the wood that a lot of people make. I'm just taking small bites, going very slow. I'll do a little bit and then I'll check it and see if I've got it just about where I want it to be. Okay, I want to turn this off and just check it against the calipers, and as you can see I still have quite a bit to take off, so I'll continue on with this. We're not looking for total perfection at this moment. All we're looking to do is to get it cut down to the predetermined size of the thickest point of the duck call barrel. You'll notice I stopped several times. It's much easier to take it off than it is to put it back. Actually, putting it back is impossible. So, see the ribbons that it's cutting? That's what you want with acrylic. You want it to make those nice ribbons just like that. I'm getting real close on part of it here. So I'm going to start evening this up. In other words, making it fairly straight. Okay, I'm going to take the parting tool and just very easy, I'm going to square up this end where it's not square. Now, I'm going to take the band itself and measure the width of it. And I have that width already measured on my calipers. I'm going to take and mark the duck call. All I'm doing is just turning it just so I can score a mark on the acrylic blank to where I will know where to go with the parting tool. Once I have scored and made a line on that, the next thing I like to do is to go ahead and preset my caliper as far as the depth that I want the lanyard groove to be cut, and which I had done so, as you can see here. So I'm going to take now and turn the lathe back on, and I'm going to cut my lanyard groove. First of all, I'm going to move this a little closer for using the parting tool. Maybe raise it up just a little bit. Now I'm going to take and check it to see if it's at the depth that I want it. I need to take off just a little more. I'm going to check it again. We're getting real close. Take just a little more out. I like my lanyard grooves to be a little deep, deeper than a lot, for people that use them. Check it now. That is just about perfect. The next thing I want to do is I want to be able to go ahead and turn the tenon down for the band to fit. I just take and I just get a measurement of the inside of the band. This is 28.46 millimeters. I'm going to take and I want to run it up to about 29 millimeters. It's what I like to turn it, because here again I like to make sure that I have a tight fit on it. Actually, I've run it up a little higher, 29.10, but that's perfect. That'll be fine. And now I'm going to take and I'm going to turn down the tenon where the band is going to fit. Here again, it comes off very fast. I would caution you about taking too much at one time. We're not there yet, but I just want to see how far off we are. Actually, we're getting fairly close. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to square this up as much as I can with my round nose scraper. And then I'm going to take and finish that with my skew where I can get more of an even cut and just sort of even it up. Take it, check it now. As you can see, it's getting really close. I'll take off just a little more. Like I say, I press fit all of my bands. I also add just a little bit of epoxy to them. But I like having it to where it's tight fit. And this works just perfect to where I had it set. The next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and start shaping the actual acrylic itself. And you'll see me go from the lanyard groove to take that shape all the way down to the mouthpiece. Here again, preference, different people have different preferences for the sizes. There's lots of different ways that this can be done. This just seems to be a method that works very well for me. I'll take and move that back just a little bit and start taking off. You'll notice that my bull nose center on the tailstock needs to be tightened up. I have not stopped the video. I'm not going to do any editing of the video as far as a time lapse. All of it is real time. So whatever time is shown is the actual amount of time that I have spent on this particular call. Another thing that I do on my calls, just as a decorative piece, I always like to put just a little shoulder on it, which that's about it right there. That's all I'm going to do. Maybe just a little more on the width of it. Just like I say, nothing more than just cosmetic for the call. And now we're going to start going through the shaping process. You will see all kinds of shapes, sizes, styles out there on the market. I've tried several different styles since I've been turning duck calls. This particular style that I'm turning now just seems to be my favorite, that I like the best. We'll go ahead and start turning down the mouthpiece to try to get it real close to the size that I want to use for it. And I have it preset in my calipers, so I still need to come down some more with it. Again, I encourage you just to take small bites. I also encourage you to be wearing some sort of safety glasses, something for eye protection. Every now and then I have had acrylic to chip, and you want to make sure that your eyes are protected in the event that that happens, especially while you're learning to turn it. If you take too big a bite, it's not as bad with the scraper that I'm using, the round nose scraper, especially when it's kept sharp. The problems that people tend to have is when they're not paying attention and their tool nicks the end of it or the size of it. That's when it happens more so than ever. Now I'm going to take, since this is not squared up on the end, I want to take this and begin to start squaring this up just a little bit. I'm going to take, let's see, get my tools situated here. Now I'll finish that in just a second. Now I'm going to go back to just the shape to get the shape and design that I like the best. You notice I'm starting to take more off in the center of it. You're going to have the ribbons to come up from the acrylic. That's a sure sign that your cut is going very smooth, just as planned, just the way it's supposed to. Start going down with this because I like, here again, this is a preference. Alright, we are getting very close to being through. Here again, I just like to leave a little bit on the edge right there, just as a decorative look for the band itself. I even like to use the end very carefully of the skew in order to make sure that I get it shaped exactly the way I want to shape it. Okay, take just a little bit more off this area. It feels very smooth. Next thing I'm going to do is that I want to take the parting tool and completely square up the end of the blank that I was working on before. To do that with, we're going to make very small cuts with the parting tool. As you can see, this barrel is already turned. It is ready to be sanded. The sanding part is going to be a part of another video tutorial that we're going to be bringing you. You can see this video as well as many other ones, get a lot of tips, suggestions, ideas, privy to a lot of the suppliers lists and other game callers, turners websites at callmakersnews.com. Once again, that's www.callmakersnews.com. Thank you.